Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is my inventory for 2021. So I did one I think in December of last year and now I'm doing one. It is the 28th of June today, so this is like my mid-year check-in, and then I'm going to do it at the end of the year as well, start of next year, just to see how I'm getting on. So this is all numbers, so if you're interested in seeing how my numbers are looking now, then let's just get into it. Okay guys, so I'm just going to scoot over so that you can see what I'm looking at. My laptop is here and let's just work through the list as it is here. In terms of goals, I can see a spider, oh for God's sake. In terms of goals, more so lately my goals are kind of based on my gut, like how I'm feeling. So is the word I'm looking for arbitrary? I would take the number with a goal with a pinch of salt. For me, I'll just let you know as we go through each product. But anyway, let's start with eyebrow pencils. So in December of 2020, I had one eyebrow pencil. My goal is to have one as well, but I now currently have two. So I've actually gone up one. The reason why I went up one is Elaine kindly gave me an eyebrow pencil in, I believe, January. So I'm currently working on an eyebrow pomade and I'm going to switch to a pencil after that. I'm not uncomfortable with that, even though I need to use up one to be within my goal. I'm still not uncomfortable, I'm not overwhelmed by it, but in terms of giving a number, I would ideally like to just have the one. I don't have a specific one yet, but just no more than one. For eyebrow pomade, I had one in December of 2020 and now I have two, and I'm nearly finished the one that I'm working on, and I bought a new one from Inglot. When I was making a purchase on their website, I bought one with that. So my goal for pomades is to have one because they can take 3 years to use up. So I need to use up one there. For eyebrow gels, I had two in December of 2020 and now I have one and my goal is two. So that doesn't mean I'm now going to go and buy one. I got the Annabelle Brow Fiber Gel from Elaine, and then I also had a clear one, there's that spider, a clear one from Colourpop. And so I think in terms of goals, I like the idea of a clear one and my eyebrow hair colour. So I'm not going to go out and buy one right now because in Ireland, I'd say I'd try the Essence Make Me Brows out. It's called, I might try that, but I have one, it is clear. I don't mind having two, but I'm not going to go out and buy one right now anyway. In terms of eyeshadow base and primers, I had 5 in December of 2020. Eyeshadow base and primers, I had 5 and now I have 4. All of those I believe are from Elaine, so that's great, thank you. I've used up one. I really am confused by this, but anyway, I've gone down one and my goal is to have no more than 2. So I need to use up 2 more to get to the goal. And I'm what I would like to have in my collection in terms of a primer is a clear one, a sticky glitter glue one. Actually, maybe my goal should be 3. Glitter glue one and then either a clear or yellowy tinge one, so 3. And then for liquid and gel eyeliners, I had 5. Yeah, I had 5 in December of 2020 and now I have 8. And I got 3 more from Elaine because I didn't buy any. So that's great and I'm happy enough with that. Like my ideal goal here I have written down is 4 for liquid and gel eyeliners, and that's because 2 of them I bought myself and they were pomade colour from Inglot and I had another one from Elaine. So I would like 1 or 2 max of a black liquid liner, and then the other 2 are just for room in terms of colour. And then for eyeliner pencils, okay, so I had 8 eyeliner pencils and now I have 11, so I've actually got up 3. I've gone up 3 and I have said here that my goal is 10, and I think when I say 10, it's not that I want to have 10, it's that I just don't want any more than 10. I had 8, now I have 11. I don't want any more than 10. I've gone up in 3, so I need to use up 1 to get to that. I'm actually working on an eyeliner pencil right now, and the pencils that I have are more travel size. So I don't have 11 full-size eyeliner pencils. They take a long time to use. I'm not overwhelmed by the number of eyeliner pencils I have. I don't even put them in my Shop My Stash because I already roll them around myself. For mascaras, I had 3 in December of 2020 and now I have 13 mascaras, and all bar maybe 1 or 2 are travel size. So I'm not uncomfortable with this number, and I can thank Elaine for this because she lovely, and I just appreciate it so much that she stocked me up on my ILIA mascara. So I'm really happy with that. I'm not overwhelmed with that. I only ever use one mascara at a time. I tend to use up 3 full-size mascaras per year, but a lot of them are minis, so I'm not sure how that will work, but I'll get through them. I'm not overwhelmed. My goal is normally 3, no more than 3, but again, I'm not overwhelmed. I'm happy with this. For face primers, I had 8 and now I have 10, so I've gone up 2, and my goal is to have no more than 10. The number of face primers I have right now, sorry, I'm itchy. The number of face primers I have right now, I'm actually not overwhelmed by. I'm using so much that I'm actually thinking I may finish primers outside of a project pan. And for those of you who know me, like, I've been panning for pretty much the entirety of my 20s, and I'm 29 in 2 weeks time. And I only ever finished products that were inside a project pan. So it's pretty much unheard of for me to nearly finish a primers outside of a project. That's how much I'm rotating them. And I really like that. Like, I love project panning so much, but it was almost exhilarating being allowed to rotate through my own primers. Kind of would like that for other things, but I also like panning things. Okay, so for foundation, I had 5 foundations in December of 2020, and now I have 9 foundations. So I have gone up with 4, and my goal is to have no more than 10 foundations. So I'm still within that comfort level. However, okay, so now that I have 9 foundations, I had a lot of foundations and I bought no foundations at all. So I usually will buy a lot of foundations, and then I will, a lot for me, use them all up and then start again. So in 2020, and all of the 9 foundations I have, the oldest one is July of 2020. And this is like a record for me. The oldest foundation I have is from July of 2020, and I'm 3/4 of the way through that foundation. And I believe once I finish that, maybe one other, that will be, the rest of the foundations are from May-ish of 2021. So I most likely will not buy another foundation, with the exception of repurchasing, I have nothing in my shade, repurchasing one that I finished in the future in a certain shade. I won't buy anything until I finish those. So I'm actually really happy that everything is like up to date in the foundation category. So even though it went up, that's actually kind of normal for me. For concealer, I'm struggling with this category in general. I had 7 and now I have 6, and my goal is to have no more than 10. So I'm in that range where I'm comfortable. I'm actually not comfortable with my concealers because all of them are too light for me. And I mean nearly unwearable, to the point I actually need to buy one. I just need to go and buy one, or even buy something too dark so that I could at least mix with the ones I have. There is 2 concealers that I might declutter, but I'm going to wait until the end of the year, I think, just to see. So I might end up decluttering my NARS and my Tarte Shape Tape, because as memory serves, I think it's too light at every point of the year, but I can confirm right now it is unwearably too light for me. So I'm going to check it again towards the end of the year, and if not, then I'm going to give it to my friend, because she's I don't think she's paler than me, so maybe it won't work. I don't really know what to do with them, but I just don't own any concealers that match me or work under my eye, at least. I definitely don't own any concealers that I can use for spot concealing, because nothing matches me and everything is way too light for your brightening. So that's all wrong. I'm panning a concealer right now. My oldest concealer is the one I'm panning, and then the Tarte one, and after that everything is new enough. Okay, so then for face palettes, I had 9 in December and I still have 9 now. My goal is to have no more than 10. My face palette category has shrunk a lot over the years. So what I think I've learned in terms of my face palettes is I don't want a full blush palette and a full bronzer palette and a full highlighter palette. I like face palettes that have different categories in them, like blush, bronzer and highlight. I tend to reach for those more and enjoy those more. So I think in future, if I'm going to buy something, I'm going to try and make sure that it is a multi face palette rather than one category of makeup, because I just feel like I'm burdening myself to use it then. But anyway, I like the ones that I have, so I'm happy with that. That is face palettes, and In terms of counting my pans of highlighters and blushes, I include every single pan, even one, if there's a blush that's in my individuals and if there's a blush from a face palette, I count every pan in terms of my numbers, just so you know going forward. So that's basic. Cream contour, I had 6 and I still have 6. I am currently working on one of those to finish and I'm rotating the other one. So all 6 are getting used all of the time. So that's good. And one will be finished hopefully soon, but I'm enjoying using it, so it's fine. Okay, in terms of bronzers, I had 30 pans of bronzer in December of 2020 throughout my entire collection, singles and palettes. The whole thing came to 30 pans and now I have 23. So I have gone down 7. I have decluttered some. I finished 3 myself. Maybe I finished 5 myself. But either way, I went down 7. So I now have 23 pans of bronzer throughout my collection. And I went down and broke it down further. So in December of 2020, 21 of the pans of bronzer were individuals out of the 30. And now I have 16 individual pans of bronzer. So I went from 21 down to 16. So I went down 5 here. So if you were to open my drawer, I now have 16 compacts of bronzer there. Cream blush, I had 1 and now I've gone up to 7. I've gone up 6 cream blushes. My goal here I've written is no more than 5, so I would need to use up 1. I have 7, but I'm actually not uncomfortable with that number. Do I want it to grow exponentially? No, because they will expire. So I want to work on using what I have. And I think at 7, I'm actually in a really comfortable range where in my Shop My Stashes, everything is getting rotated. I would love to pan one of my cream blushes. One of the cream blushes is from a face palette. So that one is kind of, I have to focus on more as well. So anyway, I went up here. This is a new enough category in general to my collection, but I love it. Love it so much. Okay, now we're on to powdered blush. So again, the whole collection, including face palettes, this used to be one of my worst face categories, probably still is. I had 54 pans of blush because I have 2 blush palettes that have like 10 in it. So nearly 20 of the blushes come from 2 blush palettes. So I had 54 and now I have 47. So I went down 7 blushes since December of 2020. So we have an increase in that category, which is good. Went down, I decluttered some, I used up some. You'll know more at the end of the year in terms of what I finished, I suppose, but I went down 7. And then individual blushes, I had, so in December of 2020, there was 54 blushes in total, and in December of 2020, 21 of those were individual in my drawer. So we went from 21 down to 17. So now I have 17 compacts of blush in my drawer, which I think is good. I went down 4 individual compacts. Did I use up? I know I decluttered some of those, but were any of those used up? I did finish blush this year so far. What did I finish? I don't know. Okay, cream highlighters. I had 3 in December and now I have 5. I've gone up 2. I know I purchased the, I was going to say Rowan. Do I own anything from Rowan? I don't know. No, I don't own anything from Rowan. I bought an RMS Beauty cream blush or cream highlighter, and what else did I buy? Anyway, I went up 2, I'm at 5, I want no more than 3. I'm working on 1 cream highlighter that's from a face palette. I like cream highlights. I actually think I like them more than powder right now. And it just looks, they just look better on my skin. Less texture, no stripe, and it just looks good on my skin. So I'm actually happy enough with them. I think if I was to increase my cream highlighter category, I would then have to decrease my powder highlighter category. I don't have a lot of powder highlights in terms of me and what I'm comfortable with. When I open my drawer, there's not a lot there. So it's okay, I can use it, I'll rotate through it myself, it's fine. Blush, liquid highlighter. Okay, yeah, so we did cream highlighters. Liquid highlighters, this is a category I'm now going to remove because this is twice now. In December of 2020 I had none, and now I still have none. So I'm going to remove that off my list. I don't want to own any liquid highlighters. I had liquid highlighters, I used them up. I believe I decluttered 2 back beyond like a while ago, and now I've used up everything else, and I don't want to own any. So that's that category that I will remove from the list, and I'll do it now in case we have 1 category removed off the spreadsheet. Okay, so for powder highlighters, I had 39 powder highlighters in December of 2020. That came from face palettes and my drawer, and I believe 9 are from face palettes. More, there's more, but oh my god, 9, 10, 11, maybe 13 or 14 could be from face palettes. And then in terms of individual highlighters, I had 16 compacts out of the 30 in 2020, and I now have 14 compacts. So I went from 16 down to 14. So I went down 2 compacts of powder highlighters, and I have 14 in that drawer at the moment, right? I'm working on a highlighter at the moment, but they're actually eyeshadows. And I think right now, once I finish those, I'm at a point with highlighters where I really would like to now, instead of finishing them, try and hit pan in them, because I'm at a number where I want them, where it's not overwhelming. I'm happy with the number. I'm happy with the like diversity of shade. I would like them now all to look used. And the only like such, what's the word? Is it superficial? What's the word where you're like, you shouldn't feel this way, but you do? At the end of the year, I do a video. I do 2 types of videos where one, I compare last year how much products I finished, and every year I want to finish a highlighter. And that's the only reason in terms of having a number to say I finished it. But I should just acknowledge, well, now I'm kind of like approaching my goal of highlighters. So now I just want, my new goal is I want them to look loved. So I think, I don't know, I think once I finish the 2 that I'm working on, I will try and now hit pan in them. But I won't, is that boring for you guys? I don't know. But it's real life. Okay, so individual pressed powder, I had 5, now I have 6. So I went up 1, and I got it from Elaine, and I'm happy with that. My goal I said was to have no more than 5 pressed powders, because I would like a pressed translucent and a pressed banana. Oh, I don't mind if it's under 5 and under, and I'm at 6. So I'm not uncomfortable with the numbers that I have, because I am rotating them. But that's the goal in the future. And then for loose powder, I had 6 and now I have 7. So I've gone up 1. Again, Elaine. I finished stuff, but I got a mini recently from Elaine. So it has 1 gram of loose powder in it. So I'll finish it pretty quickly. I'm working on a massive loose powder that has like 80 grams in it. 85 grams or 3 ounces, something like that. Absolutely insane. So once that finishes, a huge amount of powder will be gone out of my collection. But yeah, my goal for a loose powder is to have no more than 3, and I would like a banana shade and a translucent shade, something like that. So I would need to use up 4 to get down there. But again, most of what I have left are mini loose powders. I have 1 giant one from Marcel that I got from Elaine, but I'm working on a giant one right now. I'm not uncomfortable. I'm happy with this number. Cream eyeshadow. I had 4, now I have 1. Okay, I had 4 cream eyeshadows and now I have 1. What even is it? Oh yeah, it's a Jelly Much shadow. So I've used up 3, so we're down to 1. My goal is to have no more than 2. Don't really think I need any cream eyeshadows, to be honest. Well, the Colourpop Super Shocks, I don't know what category I've put that under, but it's not in here for some reason. But I think what I'll do next time is change the Super Shocks into this category from wherever they are. I don't know where they are in terms of my category right now, but I'll move them into there. So I wouldn't like any more than 5. And I have 1, so we're okay. We probably aren't though, because I do have Super Shocks. I just don't know where they are. Liquid cream shadow or glitters. I had 2 and now I don't have any. I don't need any at all. Sorry, I'm getting confused by these numbers, that's all. Right, okay, pigments and glitters, I had 16 and now I have 9. So I have gone down 7 on the old pigment and glitter. Really happy with that. I don't want to have any more than 5, so I'd need to use up another 2. But the colours that I have at the moment I'm working on all of my pigments in my Graveyard Project pan. I just managed to get down to this number. I used up 1 myself to clutter the rest after I did a certain number of uses. Once I'm going to use them all 5 times and I decide whether I want to keep or declutter. But I think I like all the colours I have left now at the moment. Okay, so eyeshadow palettes. Eyeshadow palettes. Every single year that I have been doing this, well, how long have I been doing this? I've been tracking, not on YouTube because I wasn't on YouTube. Since 2017 I have been tracking, and 3 times a year I was tracking. Every single time I went up in my eyeshadow palettes. It was always my tough category. So I had 65 eyeshadow palettes in December of 2020. 65. And when you open my drawer, doesn't that sound insane? When you open my drawer, it doesn't look like it for some reason. I have them in 2 drawers and I could realistically fit them into one, but I personally just like to be able to go through it like a book or I will be overwhelmed. So there's no like stacking or overlapping, there's gaps. I have everything at the front of the drawer. So 65 palettes in there, and you just wouldn't think it, but yep, the 65, that's a load, that's unbelievable. I'm not uncomfortable with that, you know, which is terrible maybe, but I'm not. So now I have 65 palettes. So I actually, if you're watching my Pan That Palette or Pan in Everything, Pan in Every Palette, I went up to, I believe, 72 eyeshadow palettes. I have decluttered a pile of palettes. I gave some to Ruth, I gave some to friends, I've gotten rid of them. And the ones I got rid of, this is so new for me, I like them all. I like them all. So it was really hard to do because I like them all, but I was just like, will I reach for that because I want to or because I feel guilty that I have to reach for it? So I decluttered them and I'm feeling really good about it because there was a point where I was like, God, I am overwhelmed by this because I want to just be able to rotate through my palettes and I want them to look loved. I'm doing Pan That Palette at the moment and I'm panning too many. This is such a learning curve. Anyway, in terms of eyeshadow pans, I had 788 pans of eyeshadows in my collection and now I have 774. So I went down 14 pans of eyeshadow because I decluttered a lot of eyeshadow and there's not the same number of eyeshadows in each palette. So I ended up now, even though I have the same number of palettes, I now have less eyeshadows in my collection. I'm working on a load, as you know. I'm working on 2 Pan That palettes, and 2 singles pretty much in terms of finishing. So that's where I'm at with that. Lip balm, I had 4, now I have 1. I went down 3. I want no more than 5. That number doesn't bother me when I'm in work because I use it so much. But at home I use my lip gloss as my lip balm for some reason. I really don't know why I do that, but I do. For lip liner, I had 13 and now I have 15. I went up 2 and my goal is no more than 5. And that's not really a strict one. As long as I'm comfortable, I'm fine, you know. So what is this? Yeah, definitely Elaine because I didn't buy any. So yeah, I got 2 new ones from Elaine. I rotate my lip liners, no problem. No problem at all. I like nude brown lip liners. I need a red one because I tried to get a red one and it came and it was actually pink, not red. So I need a red one and then nudie brown and that's fine. And like different deepness of said nude brown and I'm happy. And I like the Rimmel ones. I like sharpenable ones. I like the MAC ones. I like the NYX ones as well. I love the NYX ones. Favorite is still the Rimmel one and I just like a dry-ish sharpenable pencil. I don't like creamy because it moves around. That's just how I am. It is fine. Liquid lip. I had 20 liquid lipsticks. 20. And now I have 13. So I've gone down 7. And I said I wanted no more than 10. Like I probably want no more than 5, but I'd be comfortable up to 10. My lip product category is something I'm actively working so much on. And I'm decluttering things from left, right and center as well as using things up because I just want to work on it, you know, because some of the stuff there is from MAC, which is a lot older. So I decluttered stuff that I thought was gone off as well. I had 2 lip products that I had to declutter that were my favorite. They're from NYX and they just had a nub left on both of them. But anyway, they're gone now. So yes, liquid lipsticks are something I'm kind of phasing out. I like to have a red liquid lip. So I did buy one because red moves around in my face a lot and I love that shade. So I want a comfortable red that doesn't move around. I have a nice Ofra one, but the rest of them were really, really dry. I have a few Tarte ones. I like the ones I have now. I decluttered ones that I liked but didn't love. I have 13 liquid lipsticks and I like the 13 of them. So there's that. From terms of lipstick, I had 86 bullets of lipstick. 48 of those were from the Colourpop box, the little box. So I had 86, which is huge by the way. The box is so small you wouldn't think that there's 48 lipsticks in it. Now that's a lot of lipsticks, but thankfully now I've actually rotated through them all. I'm using all of my lipsticks, all of them all the time, which is great. Nothing is not getting used at the moment. My goal is to have no more than 20, I said. Again, this is really just arbitrary because I actually don't really know what my goal is as long as I'm comfortable here. And I'm still like working this category out. So I'm not uncomfortable at the moment because I'm working through them. I just don't want to own anything that I feel pressure into using for any reason, because I tend to do that. Okay, so for lip gloss, I had 11 and now I have 23. I went up 12, so that's, I don't know, I went up 12. I got 4 or 5 from ILIA recently, which is I'm really appreciative of, for my birthday. Actually, I'll link that video if you want to see it. Me unboxing the stuff I got from ILIA. Lovely, I really like that. And I got a good few from Be Perfect as well. They had, is it buy one get one free that they had, or 3 for 2, something like that anyway. And I was already buying, so lip gloss is kind of like my foundation category. I don't tend to buy from them often. I tend to use up a load and then buy a load. Like, you wait till like there was at one point, yeah, I had 41 lip glosses in 2017 and I don't think I decluttered any. I used up 41 down to 11 and then I went and I bought a few, and I don't feel overwhelmed with the number I have, and I'm happy. The only thing I want to do is to make sure I'm finishing the things that are older. So I'll work on that down. I don't have an urge to buy anything and I'm happy. Setting sprays, I had 1, now I have 2, and I said I don't want any more than 3. I would say really I don't want any more than 5 when you apply it when you go back to work, because that's, I love those pixie. I make my own one, by the way. I make my own setting spray. I don't do anything like fancy. I don't know, can you put lavender oil in facial spray that you're making? I don't know if that's like okay to do. If it is, I would totally do it. I looked it up and I heard like mixed things, like, oh, you must put it in a carrier. I don't know. But anyway, I make my own, but I also have 2. I bought one in Aldi for like 2 or 3 euros. Actually here, it's actually fantastic. It's the Lycura Healthy Glow Overnight Relaxing Facial Spritz with jasmine, lavender and chamomile. I love it. I like to have a facial spray or setting spray that like keeps your face on, almost like hairspray. I like to have 1 of those in my collection. Only one. I don't need more than 1 because I don't use it all that often. And then the other ones I like are like refreshing mists, which are such a gimmick really, but I just, especially when I was in the office and when I was feeling sick, I don't know what it is about aircon or something, you just feel so, I get so sick and I just need it. So it doesn't matter. That's why I started making my own, because they cost a fortune. But I really like the Pixie ones, the Wake Up Mist, is that what it's called? Love that. So I wouldn't mind having any more than 5, but 3 is grand. I have 2 right now and I'm actually using this every single day as it is. The other one I have is like the one that keeps your face on like hairspray, so I just use that when I need to. I'm not overwhelmed, I'm happy. Now in terms of total numbers, so again, since 2017, my number has gone up every single time. Every time. So this is like a big deal for me, guys. Big deal about the foundation, big deal about the the eyeshadow palettes, and now this is a big deal to me. So in December of 2020, I had like every single pan object in my collection is counted. I don't generalize. If there's 4 eyeshadows in a palette or 4 pans in a face palette, it counts as 4, it doesn't count as 1. So I had 1,131 items, products, individual things, every single thing. That's what it was in December. And now I have 1,112, which means I went down 19. Yes! How cool is that? It is for me, because it's now 2021 and I've been tracking this since 2017, 3 times a year, and this is the first time I can actually say I went down. And I actually worked really hard before. I decluttered nothing and I panned everything, and I finished generally about 50 products a year. It seems to be the magic number for me. I seem to finish about 50. This year I decided to just get rid of some things as well, and it's so hard because I'm not good at that, but I found that I had a load of things that I didn't want to use but felt guilty about. And I know everyone will say to you, don't do that, don't. But it's so much easier said than done, isn't it? I'm sorry, but it really is. So I got rid of those things, and I gave some of the things to people that actually like it. Like I gave a really expensive bronzer away and it hurt, like it tore at my soul. And I was like, oh God. And I really liked the bronzer. I really liked it, but I was only using it because I felt guilty over the price. Gave it to my friend, and in 2 weeks, we talked to each other every day, and she had used the thing pretty much every day, like You know what I mean? And then I gave one to another friend that had pan in it already, and she used it. Even the first couple of times she'd used it is more than I'd used it in the space of 2 years. Do you know what I mean? Or a year. I only had it over a year. But you know what I mean? So I actually feel good about giving it to someone who actually likes it and uses it. So the numbers have gone down through a mix of me using and a bit of decluttering, but I don't ever want to declutter to replace. No way. It's too hard. It's too much money. No. It's just that I would have stuff for so long that is stuff that I just don't like, and I don't want to fall into the trap of I'll pan you. No, I don't want to do it. I have stuff I don't mind, but the stuff that I just don't like or whatever. Anyway, long story short, we went down 19. I'm happy about it. None of these categories I'm uncomfortable with. For the first time, I'm not uncomfortable with anything. I'm not uncomfortable with my eyeshadows right now. The only thing I'm uncomfortable about is the fact that I'm panning too many. Too many. Lip products, I'm not uncomfortable, but I'm still looking at. Like, this is the first time in my whole life where I can look into the drawers and be like, yes, this is not bad at all for what I want. The only thing I'm querying is those stupid concealers. Anyway, I'm going to stop talking now, leave you alone. Have a really nice rest of your day, whatever you're doing. If you're chilling, enjoy. Hope you're doing well, and I'll talk to you the next time. Take care. Bye.